So the first seminar program wants to be an introduction to the humanities, wants to be able to sort of show students why we value a liberal arts education and what it can do in the contemporary world. And that way, that's one of the goals. And my course, it's on African American detective fiction, and detective fiction in general has a long history. Poe started the genre in the 1840s, and it's been an odd little in between genre because it's popular, it's sort of pulp, but at the same time, many of its readers are scholars, academics, people who do research for a living, and this is how the story goes. They seem to like detective fiction because it's the rare occasion where things get tied up, where they get solved. It's definitive, and so for pleasure, intellectuals will read this puzzle story, right? But in African American writing, it started out being used for social questions because the formula is also sort of looking at crime, looking at social morality, guilt, looking at social change too, and the hierarchy and the structure. And so early on, about 1900 was the first African American detective story. I was interested in how race worked with crime, thinking about crime and imperialism in America. And so I decided it would be a good way to teach students sort of two areas: how to read popular literature, how to understand uh, ways that we study popular culture. We call it cultural studies these days. And then also learn something about African American literature. And also, I should say, it's fun for me to look, in this sort of a thread that goes through all my research, is there's kind of a class warfare that's in African American literature that a lot of people have not really noticed or looked at squarely. And you can really see that in a popular genre. You have some very smart people um, playing with the formula, showing how they can produce an intellectual puzzle. The genre tends to privilege rationality and reason and empiricism, and you'll have very smart black writers who make rationality compete with what we call superstition or something. We'll have it compete with an African spiritual system. So even though it's popular and pulp, the intelligence is there, but the taste making, the sort of ties to the middle class, the polite, the genteel, the uplifting, those kinds of values aren't in the genre. So it's an interesting way to teach some of the multiplicity of views in the African American writing community and in the community at large.